Everyone, we are going to start the Hindu analysis of 6th of August. I am Nitish Srivastava. Let's begin. The first topic is Ram Mandir. As Narendra Modi has laid foundation of Ram Mandir, he has quoted few important points here. Like this is a symbol of modern India, and finally our wait for centuries has been over, and it will increase or it will enhance the economic aspect of the people where Ram Mandir will build, and all the aspect he has talked about. Like we have been waiting for centuries, and finally this wait is over. So finally on 5th of August, Sri Narendra Modi laid foundation of Ram Mandir, and this dispute was actually started from year 1885 when a Mahant Raghubir Das filed a plea in Faizabad court. Then it started after independence. The same issue became more prominent in 1949, where few people seek a plea regarding regarding the worship of Ram Lala in that particular structure. Then Gopal Simla Wizard filed a suit in the district court for right of worship of the idols. Means people were demanding worship of idol in the same place for years. Okay, so and then 1959 when Nirmohi Akhada reached court and seeking possession of the site, and in response to that in 1961 Uttar Pradesh Sunni Waqf Board or Sunni Central Waqf Board is an authority for Muslim community which regulates the properties aspect. So they reached there and they approached the court with the same aspect that this property belongs to our community. So this was moreover an issue related with property occupation or property possession for Ram temple or for a Babri Masjid, है ना? So this whole issue, this Babri Masjid was actually constructed in year 1528 by Babur. Then this issue went to Allahabad High Court in 14th of August 1989, and Allahabad court ordered before this in 1986 court order for court granted permission for worship to Hindus, and in later when this issue went to Allahabad court asked for some status quo of that particular issue, because that issue was highlighted, and it was like it was more turning to the communal clashes. So in response and in with due time, an incident happened which is known as the Babri Masjid demolition, and it happened in 1992, and the date was 6th of December. And after that, the issue finally after this 2002 verdict and 2010 verdict of High Court, finally this issue went to Supreme Court, where there was demand for set up a judge bench. Five judges bench was demanded at that particular moment, and this issue prominently resolved when Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi formed this five judges bench, and this five judges bench resolved the whole issue by day-to-day hearing. Okay, so this finally they passed a verdict on February, this in the month of November, and on month of November, 9th of November, they passed a verdict, and where this 2.77 hectare of land was granted in favor of Ram Lala. Okay, so this was the whole issue, and finally this board was formed, a 15-member trust was formed, and now on August 5, Mr. Modi conduct Bhumi Pujan at Ayodhya. So this was the whole incident, and this was the whole set of incident which is related with our this Babri Masjid and Ram Janmabhoomi dispute. So next we are moving to our editorial. The editorial is about the urban migrant and the ritual tug of home. What is this ritual tug of home? Means during this lockdown and during this whole period, we saw like people were moving from their urban sites or urban centers to their villages and all. So we saw this large scale migration. So what were the reason, and how you can correlate this with your historical aspects? This article deal with basically in that aspect only, you know. See the people, why people actually left, because it tells like there was life threat. It tells us there was life threat. That's why people only migrated. Otherwise people would not have been migrating. So what is the reason, why people actually migrated? We'll deal with that aspect. See, one of the introduction aspect, or why people actually left villages, one is like they are, most of the workers are working in informal sector. If 93% of the population working in informal sector, it automatically signifies that it signifies like people are like surviving in hand to mouth like kind of lifestyle. Why this 93% of the population are in informal sector? One of the basic reason is like Industrial Dispute Act. And this Industrial Dispute Act actually promotes severance mandatory. What is the severance mandatory? Means if a worker will work for more than 248 days, then it is mandatory to pay him back like in form of some compensation, some like pensions, or some revenue. The company have to pay that aspect. So these rules and these mandatory rules actually don't attract the people to make formal kind of employment. So this is one of the most foremost reason behind this. When faced with the imminent threat of life, see, when people actually face the life threat, this was the major aspect for their migration, rather than their economic aspect. See, what were the reason? If you will see like a historical aspect or historical timeline, in 1979, in Surat there was a satellite fall fear. Okay, so this was a life threatening event. So people from Surat actually migrated that time. Then again, in 1990 there was a plague fear in Surat. At that particular time also people migrated. But in 2016, when demonetization happened, it made impact in economic aspect, but not on it was not the life threatening. So people didn't migrate actually. Okay, other reason is like in 2020, the effects were both in both aspect, like it was economic as well as the life threatening. So there was a mass scale like migration. And now what are the trends going on nowadays? Like the middle class is not able to pay installment. They have to pay EMIs, they have to pay their all installments and all. So the people are actually not unable to pay their installments. So this is one of the major reason behind their migration and all. See, there is their rents as well. So 80% of the people, and one of the survey that is known as the CBRE survey, and as per the survey, 80% of the youngster nowadays in urban area lives with their family. Means it indicates increasing tendency of joint families, whereas in rural area it is decreasing. So it is one of the aspect why the people why the cities, the urban centers, and the youngsters have not been means those who are from the upper strata were not been migrating, means they were already living with their parents. See, the next is one of the foremost and fear which was in the people's mind, that they want their final ritual to be performed correctly, so that so that the departed soul can easily negotiate afterlife. Means we in our society, in our Hindus and as well as for Muslims, there is a great importance of the final rituals, because they see other end of the life, like after death there is a second part of life which begins, and they want their rituals to be performed well, so they can enjoy their life, or in the next half part of their life they can sustain easily, है ना. तो this was one of the reason कि why people actually wanted to their rituals to be performed well. This is one of the reason why people actually migrated, है ना. Proper ritual will avoid their torment, means their pain, it will reduce their pain, है ना. It is the general belief. So in Muslim community, it is the final ritual is generally performed by the closer ones, whereas in Hindu community, and Shraddh is generally performed, and most of the system is related with fire burning and all. So this requires a lot of people, and even single person can perform too, but they wanted to be at home during any misery or any difficulties. That's why people actually migrated. See why people didn't migrate from Dharavi, है ना. See, what is the reason? Actually, in the Dharavi, 90% of slum dwellers, Dharavi stayed post lockdown. It is because most of them were living with their family, है ना. So it is one of the reason why people didn't migrate from Dharavi region, है ना. So one of the reason, those who were like bachelors, those who were living single somewhere else, so they actually migrated towards their family. So not only economic aspect, this family aspect was the major reason behind this mass migration. Then less number of women were on road, because most of them were household settled with their husband. See the women, although some pictures of women were seen, but most of the women stayed to their city center, or less number of women actually migrated. One of the reason was the women which were living in urban areas were the women who were in the household like kind of lifestyle. Means you will find ki bachelors generally who comes to an urban center, they generally go back and they generally retreat their path or move back to their villages. But those who are living in the household like condition, they never migrated. Okay, so it was also seen here. So here also, so despite economic uncertainties and underdevelopment, about 72% of slum dwelling are owned, not rented. So they were slum dwellings were rented actually. That's why they were not migrated. So they this is one of the reason. And so what is the conclusion point part? Ki economic aspect as well as the life threatening aspect. Rather than economic aspect, life threatening aspect was the major reason behind mass migration. See, there is a curiouser and curiouser. This is about I would say, okay, this is about the millipede. What is this millipede? This is an insect like millipede, and you can say this is an anthropod. It has been classified in animal category. It has been classified as anthropod, and they are creepy. Means ये जब चलते हैं तो रेंग के चलते हैं ना, तो they are the creepies. Invertebrates means they do not have backbone. That's why they are called invertebrate. Generally, you will find them in rainy season, and they are detrivorous. What are detrivorous? Those who feed on dead and decaying matters are the detrivorous. So they are the model for a lot of robots, but we have taken it as granted, and all this has been discussed in today's Hindu paper. So more importantly, you have to understand this classification of animal kingdom. So animal kingdom can be classified as with backbone and without backbone. So without backbone is like the arthropods are the without backbone. Rest of the animals are with backbone, like fish, amphibians, reptiles, apes, and mammals. So all these 6 categories have been explained there, and few of them are warm-blooded, few of them are cold-blooded. Mangroves, an issue was there in Mumbai, like 357 mangroves were to be cut, and a petition was filed by BMC and municipality authorities and the metro corporation basically regarding the same, like because the construction was going on of metro, and they were asking for cutting down these mangroves. Okay, so what was the issue? Actually, this was the issue related with the CRZ, Coastal Regulation Zone, and the CRZ was actually formed in year 1991. So the CRZ is actually classified. They were formed under Environmental Protection Act of 1986, and CRZ can be categorized into four categories. One is the CRZ one. What is the CRZ one? CRZ one is the region which is a little bit a reason of a reason. It is a region of mangroves, coral reefs, biosphere reserve, and all. So no new construction shall be permitted in CRZ, and these are the some exceptions. Means these regions are somehow lenient region, and they are generally measured from the high tidal zone. Means if this is your beach or coastline, and this is the reason where at the duration or the time of high tides your water reaches. So they are basically calculated. They are basically calculated from that high tidal zone. So these are some exceptions, like a project related to Department of Atomic Energy can be performed here, like construction of trans-border sea link road without affecting the tidal flow of water between low tidal and high tidal, etc. So these are the exceptions where your activities can be performed. So exploration of and extraction of natural gas can be performed in these regions. So these CRZ1 is a little bit lenient like region, means where economic activities can be performed. Okay. Then CRZ2 is actually it is a region where some strict rules have been imposed, and permissions are actually taken and from the various authorities, है ना. So they are along the shore line. means जो आपके जो sea coast है उसके along ही होता है ये भी, and but there here you will find much better strict regulation and rules here, and some construction is permitted only as guidelines specified by the notification. So this whole region of mangroves were actually lying in the CRZ2 region. जो अभी मुंबई वाला जो issue है, that was actually lying in the CRZ2 region. Then it is the region, the CRZ3 region is actually more closer region to this shoreline, and it is up to it is between 0 to 200 meter of high tide zone. Okay. Then CRZ4 means this region is strictly prohibited, and in this region no economic activities can be performed. Okay. So and the last topic is and the second last topic it is our Delhi virus slump is no magic pill experts. means जो दिल्ली में हुआ पूरा इशू जैसे कोरोना को कंट्रोल किया गया, it's not a magical pill, and it's in this aspect everyone has contributed, even center and all, and what was the methodology you can say which was adopted and which worked actually. It was the testing and tracing and treating. Okay. So they have actually tested and they have done their contact tracing within 72 hours. This was the basic mantra behind the success of this model. Okay. So it can be performed, and this is not a magical pill, and if it will be performed everywhere, obviously we will control our this pandemic of coronavirus. And one of the issue happened or took place in Lebanon, and this issue is actually related with ammonium nitrate. And the formula of ammonium nitrate is NH4NO3. What is this NH4NO3? It is just like explosive material. This ammonium nitrate is an explosive material, and it is generally used for manufacturing of fertilizer. This happened, 135 people have killed, and 5,000 people were injured, and there was a quantity of 2,750 tons of ammonia which was kept somewhere else, and it was unmonitored and it was unsafe. Means this huge loss was because of this inaction and negligence. Okay. So this was the Lebanon issue, and it claimed up to right now it has claimed 135 lives, and it is expected to grow even more. So what are the important vocabularies from today's The Hindu? One is the mortuary. Mortuary means where dead bodies are kept. Rattle, to make someone worried. Rattle means to make someone worried. And tug means to pull something is your tug. Severance means the compensation or pension or benefits of an employer provided to an employee. Means जो भी pension और pension जो employer provide करता है employee को, और कोई monetary benefit, that is your severance. The next is देन नेक्स्ट इज बियर पिट. व्हाट इज अ बियर पिट मीन्स एक ऐसी जगह जहाँ पे आपस में बहुत सारा कंपटीशन हो, दैट इज योर बियर पिट. एग्जाम्पल योर मेट्रो सिटीज लाइफ और पार्लियामेंट. Minuscule means extremely small. Trude is a different or laborious work. A difficult or laborious work means what, like people, if people migrated, it was like a trude for them. Wantonly, it is a deliberated and unprovoked way. In deliberated and unprovoked way means एक बेहूदगी भरा जो हम बोलते हैं उसको बोलते हैं wantonly. Exodus, mass migration means you can term that mass migration as exodus. Imprudent, not showing care for the consequence of the actions means carelessness, it is like. Then millennial means those who were born in 1990s 1980s, right now they are youngster in 21st century, are millennial. Torment, great pain and suffering in your mind or body means, prop, to support someone, prop. Wrenching, to pull or push something is wrenching. Sacrilege, treating religious object without respect is a sacrilege. Sacrilege, okay. Plethora is a large amount of something is the plethora. And complacent, feeling too satisfied with situation is the complacent. Sine qua non is, it is an essential condition, it is about an essential condition. And reckoning is the act of calculating something, is the practice of reckoning. Okay, thank you everyone, thanks for watching this video. Keep liking, keep subscribing the videos. Thank you.